Hi guys, and welcome to my September film and TV favourites. It wouldn't be a film and TV favourites on my channel if I didn't start the video by saying where did the past month go, but this has seriously been the fastest month of the year for me. I started a new job in August and a lot of new things started to kind of happen in August. So September just went by in this blur of trying to get to grips with my new routine and getting into new habits and stuff. So to be perfectly honest, I haven't watched a massive amount of new stuff this month, but what I have watched has been amazing, so I still wanted to talk about it. As always, we'll start off with TV, and at the end of September, so this is quite a late September favourite, but I discovered that season 3 of Orphan Black was on BBC iPlayer. Now, I've been waiting for season 3 for so long. I've just been waiting for it to go up on Netflix, and I hadn't really investigated anywhere else to watch it because I was waiting for it to come up on there. I had so many other things to watch that I thought I can wait. But in all honesty, it was killing me not knowing what had happened in season 3. So when my mum mentioned that she'd been flicking through BBC iPlayer and she saw it on there, I was so excited, and I went into that sort of panic thinking, I bet by the time I go on there's only going to be like 2 episodes of the series left on it. However, all 10 episodes are there. They are still there for the next 20 days or something. I kind of want to do a video just dedicated to Orphan Black in and of itself, or mainly dedicated to Tatiana Maslany. Season 3 has been very exciting so far. I've only seen 4 episodes, but what I have seen has been just taking the storyline that we were following through season 2, which I'm not going to go into detail about in case you've never seen it before, but the pace has just upped in season 3 and it's just so exciting. Tatiana Maslany is honestly just one of my favourite TV actresses of the moment, or possibly of all time, because I just can't get away with how talented she is. This girl plays several characters in this show, again not going into any great detail in case you haven't seen it, but the amount of time and work that she has to put in comparison to any other actor on that show, or any other actor on any show really, is absolutely incredible. And the fact is, she plays a lot of different characters with a lot of very, very different personalities, and I genuinely forget that I'm watching the same person. Each character is so unique and individual and has their own voice, their own accent, their own mannerisms, their own body language. Everything about them is so distinct and individual and unique, and yet she's playing them all, and she's juggling this amazing balancing act of acting opposite herself within the one scene. In the first episode of season 3, there was an incredible moment where she was playing 2 different characters who were each themselves playing 2 different characters. So she was playing one girl pretending to be another, and then also within the same scene playing another girl pretending to be another. So it was this double whammy of you know, all overlapping characters and personalities, and she's just mind-blowing. Another huge shout out has to go to Jordan Gavaris for his performance in Orphan Black. I think that's how you pronounce his surname. I apologise if it's not, but he's absolutely fantastic, and his accent is absolutely perfect. I honestly don't know if there's been an accent ever in a TV show up to this point that I have believed as much, to the point that I thought he was a British actor. I really thought he was a British actor until I saw him getting interviewed, and I was like, he has a Canadian accent. This is weird, and it's so spot on. So if you want to see just like a masterclass of acting, even if the slightly sci-fi genre isn't your usual cup of tea, watch Orphan Black just for this incredible masterclass on how to act, because it's phenomenal. Next in the TV line, my beloved Once Upon a Time came back on the 27th of September. These are all very late in the month favourites, but I did a review of the first episode. If you're a Once Upon a Time fan, I will leave a link on the end card of this video and in the description box below if you want to go and watch my review of the first episode of season 5. It was incredible. I was a little nervous about it because there are aspects of the storyline that before the first episode I still wasn't sure how I felt about, but they just blew me away. The writing was fantastic as always, and the acting, again, this is just another show that the acting just it fills my heart with joy. There are a lot of fantastic scenes between Jennifer Morrison and Robert Carlyle in this episode that were just so good to watch, and all my usual favourites, Colin O'Donoghue, Lana Parrilla, all my usual loves were just absolutely amazing. This season the story has taken a very dark turn, and it's turning a lot of elements of the story that we've known for the past 4 seasons completely on its head. So I think it's going to be a very different season. I think it's going to be quite an emotionally fraught season, but I really do think that the writers have made a very clever decision in taking the story in this direction. Episode 2 is on tomorrow night. By the time you see this video, it will be tonight, and I just can't wait for it. I really can't wait for it. What I've said a million times before about this show that I love is that they take these really recognisable fairy tale characters and characters from stories that we've known for such a long time and just transport them all together into this world where we get to know them so much better, and we get these elaborate backstories to them that we didn't get maybe in the Disney version or whatever. And there's a lot of good new characters coming in this season. We've got King Arthur and Merlin. We're going to meet Guinevere. Haven't met her yet, but she's going to be in it at some point soon. We've met Merida from Brave already, and she was great. So there's a lot of very exciting stuff happening this season, and I really can't wait to see what happens next. In all honesty, that's kind of been it in terms of TV. In the earlier part of September, I really didn't watch anything new. I watched some old episodes of The Office. Speaking of which, Netflix. What have you done? If you're a fan of the US Office and you have watched it on Netflix, you might know that last week Netflix removed all 9 seasons of The Office from their bank of shows. Much to the internet's outrage. Everyone was tweeting about it, everyone was putting on Facebook, what on earth has happened, why would they do this? And I know that in the scheme of things, in the world that we're in right now, that's a very trivial thing. But it still made me sad because I love nothing more than going onto Netflix when I've had a stressful day and watching Threat Level Midnight, season 7 episode, one of the best episodes of anything ever, and now I can't just go on and do that. So thanks Netflix for ruining that dream. In terms of films, I went to the cinema a couple of times in September, not as many as I should have, but I did go a couple of times and I really enjoyed what I saw. So first I went to see Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. If you'd like to see my full review of that, it will be linked in the description box down below because I really enjoyed this film. It's based on a YA novel with the same title, and it tells the story of Greg. He is a high school boy in America who's your slightly awkward typical high school boy who befriends Rachel, a girl who has been diagnosed with leukemia. This is a story that's been touched on in a few films and novels lately, but I think that this one did it really well. It didn't have any of that sort of cliched, we're old before our time and we're so wise sort of feel to it. It had a very awkward, we're teenagers and this is a horribly stressful, intense situation that we don't really know how to handle. And Greg's awkwardness in dealing with it felt quite reflective of what you feel a teenage boy might do if he was thrown into that situation. It was funny despite the emotional and sad subject matter. It was filmed in a very interesting way and it had an incredible soundtrack, so massive thumbs up all round for that one. And the other film that I went to see last weekend, and that was A Walk in the Woods. Again, this is a film based on a book. This was based on the book by Bill Bryson, and it stars Robert Redford and Nick Nolte as 2 slightly older gentlemen who decide to walk the Appalachian Trail. Robert Redford plays Bill, who's a travel writer who realises that lately his life has not been filled with as much adventure and travel as he's been used to, and he makes the decision that he wants to relive the adventures of his youth and walk the Appalachian Trail. When he contacts a lot of his old friends who used to come on trips like this to go with him, they all turn him down immediately and think that the idea is ridiculous, but eventually one person, Stephen Katz, a friend from his youth, gets in contact and says he wants to come along. This is someone who he has a very friction-filled relationship with, but his wife, who's played by Emma Thompson, is insistent that if he's going to do this, he's not going to do it alone. This film is beautiful in terms of the landscape because I love anything that has a lot of kind of landscape shots, so lots of really beautiful forest and mountain scenes. I was talking about this in my Once Upon a Time review recently, but I really love films like that give you that kind of breathtaking views of beautiful places. So it had a lot of that in it, so visually I thought it was lovely. It was quite a light, easygoing film. It wasn't something that was a sort of life-changing story in any sort of way, but what I really enjoyed about it was the focus on slightly older characters. I feel like we don't necessarily get a massive amount of diversity in the types of characters and the ages of characters who are explored in films, and very often the older characters in films are kind of sidelined, so they are, you know, the supporting actor, or they are, you know, the dad or the mum or the gran or the older person who works in the place that the main character works in. So it always kind of feels like they're maybe slightly sidelined and you don't get you certainly don't get as many films about older characters as you do about younger characters. I think it's just the way of the world and it's sad, and I think it's something that we need to explore. I think diversity in film and television needs to be explored in a lot of different ways, especially in terms of race and gender. But age is also important to explore in a more diverse and open way, and I think that this focus on these older characters having an adventure and exploring their friendship, it's a story that very much explores friendship and what friendship means to these two people who have spent, 40 years apart. They've not seen each other in a very, very long time. So getting back in touch with each other and, reliving these old stories and then sort of gaining a new friendship through this adventure that they go on together is lovely to watch on screen, and I really, really enjoyed it. So that's it for my September film and TV favourites. I hope that you have enjoyed that, and if you have, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know to make more. If you did enjoy this and you would like to see more film and TV related videos from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It would really mean a lot to me, and I really do hope that you are having a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye! Visually, I thought this was a lovely episode because I really always enjoy scenes in the Enchanted Forest because I really enjoy those kind of like sweeping landscape shots. So when you've got a lot of